Hi guys, one more paper, rapid adaptation to Coriolis force perturbations on voluntary body sway, and it's again by, that's me, Professor Dizio and Professor Lackner. So that's the paper, and again just sharing very quickly the small main piece of take home message from that paper. So what this paper did was study balance in a rotating environment, but this time a person actively swaying back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And again, because the person is swaying while he's moving, Coriolis force acts on him because it's a rotating environment. Suppose this is the vertical direction, the room is rotating. He moves forward, Coriolis force takes him, deviates him this way. He moves backwards, the Coriolis force takes him this way. So it's like a simple experiment, and one would naively guess that what the person will learn to do is, as the Coriolis force is trying to deviate, when the Coriolis force is deviating then this way under their feet, they will just make changes to counter that Coriolis force. So when they are going forward, Coriolis force deviates them, suppose this way, they will try to bring themselves back by pushing more in this direction, bringing the vertical force under the ground here so that the body is torqued in this way. And when they are moving backward, Coriolis force is taking them this way. So Coriolis force is trying to take them this way. They will try to bring the force under the ground, reaction force under the ground at the ground, more at this edge, so that torques them this way, and that way they will somehow figure out to counter the Coriolis force. And that will be the naive expectation, but they do completely something different, and I'll explain why once you figure out what they're doing. It takes quite amount of time, about 3 minutes, for them to learn. The people do not have any idea about Coriolis force. Usually people don't talk about Coriolis force unless you're a physics guy or engineer. You just come in the center of the room, you try to do this, and this fictitious ghostly force just deviates you, and nothing isn't touching you, and it deviates, and like, what the hell was that? And then they try to adapt to that, and everybody learns to adapt to that unless you get motion sick. But majority, 99.9% people learn to adapt to that. Now, why it is interesting is, and here's the amazing capacity of the CNS, it learns not to do hard work when it doesn't need to, somehow naturally. It is hard to model it, but brain just does it. So what is happening is here, see, imagine, and this will be the main piece of the information. Imagine the person is going forward and the Coriolis force is deviating you this way, okay? But now look, if this person has more weight on this leg, imagine he's like little bit tilted here, more weight on this leg, okay? Now he's moving forward, Coriolis force is taking him in this way, so it is taking him away and trying to make him fall, okay? On the other hand, if he's still loaded on this leg and he's moving backward, Coriolis force is then this way, and it is trying to bring him to the center. So the same Coriolis force, while he's loaded on this leg, more weight on this leg, this is still on the ground, this leg is still on the ground, but he has more extra weight on this leg, this side. He's moving forward, Coriolis really takes him away, but when moving back, Coriolis is actually helping him, trying to come in the center, and he's supported by this leg here anyway. On the other hand, when this leg is loaded, this leg, so if he is going backward, Coriolis is taking him further away and trying to make him fall. But now if he is going forward, the Coriolis is bringing him to the center. So both legs have kind of to learn two different rules. Firstly, the Coriolis, the perturbation that tries to throw you out, is not always your enemy. Sometimes it is your friend. And that's the thing. That's why actually it takes time to learn it. Otherwise, if something is your enemy right away, and very quickly you can learn. This guy is disturbing me from my goal. Well, enemy, you understand the word enemy, I mean. So something is disturbing you from the goal, you quickly learn to counter it. But here, the thing that is disturbing you is not always disturbing you. If your goal is to balance back and forth, whatever your task is, sometimes the thing is helping you to kind of, if you are tilted too much on the side, it is actually bringing you back. But again, it also, whether it is helping you or really perturbing you further away from balance, depends upon which leg you are loaded on. So firstly, the perturbation is sometimes good, sometimes bad, and depends upon when it is good and when it is bad, depends upon which leg. So that's the additional complication. So it's a complex task to learn, but people learn it in 3 minutes. And then it's hard to, for a person, average person like me, to figure out then what exactly they're doing. But we figured out eventually in the paper, and then there's a model which has been presented which mimics that. And it's kind of a nice thing. There's a very unique scenario where the learning has to be done in a leg asymmetric way, and the learning has to be done to figure out when whatever that I have to learn against, the force that is trying to disturb me from my goal, I have to learn that sometimes it is really deviating me from the goal, but sometimes not. So when it is not, I have to learn. For example, when I'm moving, I'm loaded on this leg, suppose I'm loaded on this leg, I'm moving forward, Coriolis is deviating me, then I have to learn to take my force in this way quickly. But on the other hand, when I'm moving backward, I do not take my force like inside too much or anywhere. I just keep it wherever it is. I don't care. Like, but the rule is different from for this leg. Now when I'm backward, moving backward, then I take it away because Coriolis is taking me further away. So initially they don't learn that. Initially they fumble, their body goes everywhere, la la la. If your goal is to just sway back and forth, they go all around and they can't figure it out because of all these complications that you have to figure out when it is good and bad, and you have to figure out that it is contingent upon which leg you are extra loaded. But in 3 minutes we figure it out. We human beings have very smart brains, so smart that engineers have not been able to create very great bipedal robots. I mean, Asimovs have been created, Boston Dynamics is doing its job. Yes, great, we are advancing. But we have fighter planes which are doing things which are better than many birds can do. We have submarines being sent, little toy submarines being thrown in water which do better things than what many fishes can do. But we don't have bipedal robots which do better things than what humans can do. It's really hard to balance. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. That's it.